Here we go again. Another hanging Chad scenario. Welcome, Patriots. This is Mike Cook coming to you live from Central Missouri, where at least we know how to vote. It looks like a mess out there, folks. What have we learned? We have learned that the media did everything they could to make sure Biden wins this election. Florida was not in doubt, but they would not call Florida until after they called California. Why is that? Main reason for that is they wanted to make sure that people in California thought their vote mattered and would get out and vote to make sure that the popular vote was for Biden. No matter what the Electoral College goes, they wanted to make sure the popular vote was for Biden. Now, what's going on in all these states? In Georgia, in West Virginia, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Arizona, in New Mexico, Nevada, not New Mexico. They stopped counting the votes in certain precincts that were heavily Democratic precincts. Why did they do that? Why would you stop counting the votes in these precincts? Does that make any sense? They had water main breaks. They had ran out of ink. They were tired. They didn't get enough beauty sleep. They broke a hangnail, whatever the excuse is. But in counties like Fulton County, Georgia, which will go 80 to 90% for Biden, they stopped counting the votes. Now, why is that? I'll tell you why that is. They needed to see the number that they had to overcome in order to turn the state. That's right. They needed to see the number that they need to create with mail-in ballots and whatnot in order to turn the state. They needed to see what they needed to see so they could cheat. And magically, states like Wisconsin and Michigan, from the cities, the big metropolitan areas, all of a sudden this morning, boom, they both are right now trending Biden. Just like that. It's magic. Where all these votes come from? What happened? My friends, they stopped counting the votes last night because they weren't prepared for the massive turnout that Trump got. And they had to put the brakes on it so that they could get some ballots together so that they could take the election. That's what this is about. That, and then one more important thing that this is really, really, really about. But before I get there, I just want to mention something I just heard. NBC is calling today for an investigation into Joe Biden and the laptop. Wait a second. Haven't we known about that for like a month? And we're just now does that make any sense? Sure it does. Because the next president of the United States of America is going to be Kamala Harris. That's right. Because the Democrats are going to impeach Joe Biden to get him out of the way because they don't want him. No one's ever wanted him. He needs to be in a nursing home, and they know it. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to join hands and sing Kumbaya with the Republicans because Joe Biden did this awful thing and sold us out to the Chinese and the Russians and the Ukrainians and the Pakistanis. And we need to remove him from office. But they'll never impeach him because he'll resign. He'll step down because his people and his party will come to him and say, Joe, it's time to do the right thing. And Kamala Harris will be president. That's what they wanted all along. It's just convenient for them. But before they get that far, they have to cheat. And they have to force us to accept the cheating. What do I mean by forcing us to accept the cheating? There's this organization And this is one of hundreds of organizations that are funded by the DNC, George Soros, etc., etc., etc. Fill in the blanks. The Chinese, the Russians, who knows? But this is just one of the organizations called protectthevote.com. They have planned, and here it is. This is the interactive map. If you go to protectthevote.com, you can go, scroll down, find this interactive map. This is as of 20 to 30 minutes ago. And on this is the locations across the United States of America where they intend to have rallies and riots and looting and mass chaos tonight. This starts tonight. And you could go there and you can sign up to join in. That's right. They got classes. They'll get you organized. They'll get you set up on what to do and where to do it. Take a good look at this map. Take a good look at what's going on. Hey, I appreciate everybody jumping on. Thankfully, there's nothing in central Missouri, but Kansas City, St. Louis, Springfield, and Columbia, every major city, especially the Democratic-controlled ones, where it's harder for the president to send in reinforcements, so to speak, is going to be in chaos tonight. This is part of their plan. You've heard me talk about the Transition Integrity Project. This is part of their plan. This is what they called for. They called for mass chaos. Phase 2 in this is going to be tomorrow, the next day, they're going to start calling on the unions to start nationwide strikes. That's why the counting is not going to be done in these states like Pennsylvania until Friday or Monday or next week sometime. This is intentionally planned to delay the results of this election. They knew it. They knew that they had the ability to make this thing tight. The media played right into their favor. They delayed the calling of states that should have been called. They delayed the calling of Texas. Why? Texas was never going to go blue. We know that. They called California before the polls were completely closed. There were still polls open in certain places in California, yet they called it. Why? Does it make sense to you? Do you see that you're being paid? Says, why do they have, Courtney wants to know, why do they have riots set up? The election map has turned out exactly how they want it, yes. But the riots are set up because they want to destroy it all. They want to take it down. They're wanting to prevent, see, they're cheating right now. You see, they stopped the vote in these states. They stopped counting in Fulton County, Georgia. They stopped counting in Virginia. See, they called Virginia, but Trump's still leading in Virginia. And they stopped counting. In Virginia, the governor removed votes, removed ballots, and moved them to a safe location. Right now, the Trump's legal team, Jay Sekulow, and however you say his name, whatever, they're going into these states right now to start filing lawsuits to make sure that the vote is counted and that we're not counting mail-in votes that come in the next 6 months, that we're not counting mail-in votes with no timestamp, with no postage stamps on them or anything like that, that the vote is legit. If Trump legitimately loses, he'll admit it. The problem is he's not legitimately losing. It's being stolen from him right now. And the riots in the street are an active part of it. They want to get people so scared and so riled up that we surrender to them. This isn't about winning an election. This is about a communist revolutionary takeover. These people that are part of this protectthevote.com, they're not Democrats. They're communists, Marxists. Antifa and Black Lives Matter are not Democrats. They're communist Marxists. They're the thugs. They're the revolutionaries. We are in the middle of a soft coup that they're going to attempt to make a hot coup. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This was the plan since the Great Toilet Paper Run. This plan was enacted last year. After the impeachment failed, this was the plan. Let's see. So I went to Fox News and looked at their map of the election broken down by county. Pretty much Los Angeles County, speaking for California, King, New York, Queens, speaking a whole lot. Well, California, I mean, I kept saying California was going to flip just because I have a bunch of friends out there and I was kind of twisting them. But California is more about the popular vote to the Democrats. They need that popular vote so they can give the air of, see, Biden won. Even though the Electoral College went against Biden, Biden won because he won more votes. Let's riot in the street and let's burn down liquor stores and destroy mom and pop restaurants. That's, and get new pair of sneakers and a new TV. That's what this is about. Why do you think all these cities were boarding up a week ago? Why do you think Walmart was pulling all the guns off the shelf? Because they knew this was coming, because this is planned. What's about to happen to the United States of America was planned. It has been planned for years. It is about to get ugly. God, I hope it doesn't. It's why down in my caption, down in the corner, right down there, it says shift, capital S, capital H, I, capital F, capital T. It stands for shit hit the fan. It's what people in the patriot movement, in the militia movement, in the prepper movement are preparing for. They prepare for the shift. All of a sudden, everything changes. It happens instantly. There's no notice. It's not a soft decay. It doesn't take a few seconds. It happens instantly. This is what they're trying to push. You see, Glenn Beck always talks about how the green revolutions happen. Mind you, the green revolutions that happened, with the Islamic summer and spring and all that stuff, that was pushed by our government. Understand that the green revolution that was trying to happen in the Soviet Union and the former Soviet states, that was us doing that. Our government actively trying to cause revolution. And the way that they do it is they control social media. Okay. They get out there and they create doubt. They create chaos. They create mass revolt in the streets. All right. You follow me? Sound familiar? Right? They create shortages. They create confusion and fear. Then they have a contested election. Hello, here we are. How do they make sure they have a contested election? I don't know, by stop counting the vote. By not calling the precincts in the states. Kind of like what's going on right now. Then the next step in that, what they start doing while they're going on, they call what's called convince, what they call push, and what they call shove. My friends, for the last year, we've been in convince and push. They've been convincing us and pushing us that the end was near. They've been convincing us and pushing us to panic. They've been convincing us and pushing us to hide in our basements and cover our mouths and keep your mouth shut and get in line. Today comes the push and the last step, the shoot. That's right. They will attempt to take this country by hook, by crook, or by war. And if you say, but we on the conservative side, we're the ones with all the guns. Are you sure about that? Do you know that these Black Lives Matters and Antifa groups have been sending their members to Syria to train with Islamic fundamentalist forces on how to fight combat in urban environments? Did you know that for years the CIA has been dropping pallets or boxes of arms in the Chicago area to create violence? So I don't know, we can ban guns and stuff. You know, and you're telling me that that's far-fetched and crazy. Look it up. Google it. I'll go to DuckDuckGo and type it in, see what you come up with. There's videos of it. The same people who spent the summer setting pallets of bricks in the pathway of protesters, the same people who dressed up in black garb with an umbrella while the protests were peaceful in Minnesota, and walked up to the very first building to get looted and busted out all the windows of the AutoZone, while the black people that were protesting what they thought was an injustice, and it probably was, peacefully protesting, mind you, were saying, what are you doing? We don't want this in our neighborhood. Why are you knocking the windows out? And the race was on. That was it. We now had a summer of chaos and fire and burning. Those same people who orchestrated all that, those same people who set up, organized, and created these riots. They had their umbrella boys, they had their bicycle boys, they had their men in black, they had their gas masks, they had their pre-positioned medical supplies and water bottles and milk bottles to stop the tear gas. Those same people who flew from city to city to city to city and to create chaos are now, right now, preparing tonight to create chaos like we've never seen before. Their words, not mine. Those are their words. Get ready, folks. We're in the push. Next is we're in the shove. Next is the shoot. I don't want war. I've been praying. I mean, I got friends that are in militias that have been praying for war. I don't want war. War comes at a terrible price. A terrible cost. I don't want to see destruction of the inner cities. I don't want to see destruction, looting, rape, violence. I don't want to see any of this. But this is how revolutions happen. And there's people, outside forces, China, Russia, George Soros, Silicon Valley money, the DNC. They are forcing this to happen. You might sound like I'm freaking out and I'm fear-mongering and all this stuff, but it's right there. Go to the Transition Integrity Project. And let me tell you something. I got to find my printed copy. I printed it, I filed it somewhere, and I don't know what I did with it. I was looking for it today. I went to, they've whitewashed that, by the way. I have it. I'll find it. I'll make it known. I downloaded it and filed it on my computer. I can't find it on my computer. Like magic. It doesn't say what it said 6 months ago about how they are causing these riots, how they'll call their forces onto the streets. It doesn't say that anymore. They took it down. They changed it. They edited it. It's kind of like Pettis County, just editing the rule they passed for their mask mandate. Just change it later on when everybody gets all pissed off about it. But this, right now, you can go to that website right now. It's called protectthevote.com, and you can scroll down and you can join in the riots. This is it right now. Right now. And if you scroll in, this is real big across the whole country. You scroll in close, you can see every major city just about has one planned for tonight. And this isn't protests. These are planned riots. It's going to get ugly. Be prepared. You know, if you go to the store right now, buy some canned food and some dried rice or something if you don't have anything right now. Maybe you won't need it. Truthfully, if you haven't stocked up on essentials, if you haven't stocked up on bullets, if you haven't stocked up on gasoline, it's probably too late. I hope Trump pulls this out, but I'm scared to death that it ain't going to happen. And I'm scared to death of what this means right here. So with that, I'm going to jump off here, do some more research, do some more thinking, see what I can dig up. I hope you guys have a great day. Go check out the Transition Integrity Project. Go check out protectthevote.com. Go check out, there's tons of others. I wrote a bunch of them down. See here, Working Family Party, frontline.org, United We Dream. There's all kinds of these. That's just a few off the top of my head. There's all kinds of these organizations, and they're all under one umbrella, and it's all communism, Marxism, fascism, and destroy Americanism. You guys have a great day. I will catch you later. Hey, one more thing. Share this video because there's people out there that have no clue.